and welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I am your host, AC, and we are here today with my favorite, and hopefully everybody's favorite local author, Laura McHugh. How are you?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. Today is a really special day. What is happening today in your life?
My fifth book, Safe and Sound, is published today.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah,
Oh my
exciting.
goodness. Okay. So before we get to Safe and Sound, let's just give a little background for people who may not know. This is your fifth book.
Yes.
And so up until then, there's been, let's name them.
Okay, The Weight of Blood, that was 10 years ago. My first one came out. Arrowwood, The Wolf Once In, What's Done in Darkness, and now Safe and Sound.
It's been an amazing thing to watch. And,
Thank you.
just for, full disclosure, Laura and I are friends and have been friends since our now seniors in high school were in kindergarten.
Yes.
And so I got a chance to see some of the behind the scenes of you when you were writing your first book.
Yes.
Your first book. That's really amazing. It's been 10 years.
Yes, I can't believe it. And Adonica threw the most amazing book launch at the Tiger Hotel. Big party. That was just wonderful.
In 2014.
Yeah, in 2014.
Can you believe it's been 10 years?
No.
That's crazy.
We have
Crazy.
not aged at all.
No, we
in
have
this
not.
time,
We look
so.
the same. We look the same. And so, what's your genre, Laura?
It's suspense novels, thrillers, mysteries. It's called a lot of things. Sometimes noir, even rural noir. I write about things set in the Ozarks and in rural Missouri.
Yeah, that is very interesting, and it's always been very interesting to a lot of people. You're from Missouri, and so you write about kind of what you know and what you've seen.
Yes.
Are your books based on any things, or?
Oh, yeah. Most of them are inspired by true crimes that have happened in Missouri, in some of these small towns where I've lived.
Yes.
And so some people reading these stories, they might recognize some things in these books, which I think is really fun.
Yeah.
There are not that many books, set in our area, and so I think it's kind of neat to be writing about these local things.
It is, and it really puts you in this niche genre, because it's really nice to be reading something and be, oh, I recognize that town, or oh, I recognize that thing. Yeah, it's really nice. I will say, I haven't read Safe and Sound yet, but I always feel like every book of yours I read is my favorite at the time. My favorite at the time.
Yeah.
But probably The Weight of Blood for me, because it was the first one,
Yeah.
And I knew a little bit of the behind the scenes. It was really, really, I think it's probably the dearest to me.
I think so, too. It's like my first baby, and that's what really changed my life when I really became a professional author.
Yeah, because I don't know. Most people may not know. Like, who's your publisher?
Random House.
Yeah, so just Random House. Just Random House, that's all. Just one of the biggest, that's all. Yeah, but it really speaks a lot to the level of talent. I'm always telling people, you'll be surprised at the level of talent that's right here.
Yes.
In this town.
Absolutely. This town is full of wonderful writers.
Yes. And I know you're friends with a lot of the writers here, and you know a lot of the writers. And I'm sure you guys get together and do you guys get together, chat and talk about the industry and the behind the scenes?
Oh yeah, all the time. And it's so great to have that support.
Yes.
To have those writing friends around you, to know what you're going through.
You
know how it is. You've seen me writing a book. And it's,
It's not stressful.
No,
it's not stressful.
While you're raising your kids and working and everything else.
Yes,
so.
and doing all those things.
Yeah.
So, okay, Safe and Sound, coming out today.
Yes.
Give us a little preview. Tell us what Safe and Sound is about.
Yes, well, it's set in a small, kind of creepy, dead-end Missouri town with a meatpacking plant at the center of it.
That sounds scary already.
Yeah, there you go. And it's these two sisters who are very close, and when they're young, their cousin is babysitting them overnight and vanishes, and there's blood left behind, and they don't know what happened to her. And she was going to be the first person in their family to really get out of this town and go away to college. And so they're about to graduate now, and some human remains are found, and they're wanting to find out what happened to their cousin, whether that's her, whether she got out. So.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Yeah, that's so okay. Yeah, I'm ready to read that. I'm ready to read that.
It's very much about families and things too. I mean, there's a crime at the center of it, but very much about those family bonds and that sort of thing.
Always when I'm reading your books, I can never stop. Like, I feel like it's something about a thriller like that where you want to know what's happening at the end. So I end up I know better now. Started on a weekend, I started on a Friday so I can take that time on the weekend where I don't need to get up the next morning because I need to know what's happening. I need to know what's happening. Do you? Well, you're writing it.
Well,
so from your end, it's different.
Well, that's like my goal is you want it to be a page turner. You don't want someone to put it down. So you want to build that suspense into it. You want to have these questions that the reader is dying to know the answers to. And you want to keep dropping these little bits. You're revealing more and more, and you want them to just keep turning the pages to the end.
Well, you succeed in that.
Oh, thank you.
Every time. So I know we have a lot of aspiring book writers out there, and I'm sure you get these kinds of questions all the time. But when you sit down to start a book, do you already know how it's going to end?
No.
Really?
Not always.
Okay.
Sometimes. Like when I wrote The Weight of Blood, I had no idea. I had written half of the book before I knew where it was going. Not that I recommend that.
Right.
But it's possible. It's my first time, figuring it out. But now I try to know, like, what's the general arc of this character, this main character, and of this story, and try to have an endpoint I'm writing toward. But as I'm writing, inevitably, the story kind of grows organically. People's motives come to light. It's always about, like, the motive, who did this and why. And so a lot of that grows as you're writing the story.
Yeah. Do you ever get stuck?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I do. But really, they talk about writer's block or whatever. And I mean, that's a real thing. But I mean, it's a job. I have deadlines and I have to get this book done. So there are a lot of little things I try to do, go on a walk or I bake something or a change of scenery, go to a coffee shop or just try to get out of the house and switch it up because it's a job and I really have to sit there and write, whether I know what I'm doing or not, or I know where I'm going or not. So I have to keep going.
Yes.
So you can always revise. You go back and revise.
Okay, that makes sense. You can go back and revise. But writer's block is a real thing.
It is.
So if you're out there and you're writing a book and you get stuck, just know, even the professionals get stuck, right? Change your scenery. Go for a walk.
Yes.
That's a tidbit for you. Try something
Take
different.
a long shower, and for some reason, your brain just works through the problems when you drink it.
Well, Laura, congratulations on your publishing day.
Thank you
Remember,
so much.
Safe and Sound is out today.
Yes.
Pick it up at all your local booksellers online. Laura, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So
always good to see you.
You too.